question, and I call the honourable member for New England.
Well, thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. I was just having a very intriguing conversation about higher education with the member for Boothby, where we talked about all the things that make us so attracted and give something so much pizzazz and colour and wonderment, and that you see that when you give someone the capacity for their advancement, for the advancement of that wonderful part of your body which resides between your ears, and allows people to challenge themselves and stay informed. The idea, I believe, of the varsity experience, obviously, and when we talk about fee help, it's to keep people with that varsity experience, is to take them out of their normal environs and place them in a situation where they are challenged, to talk to new people, to hear new ideas, to mix with people they probably otherwise wouldn't mix with. And this fee help allows people to continue on to university, but university should not just be ticker box. You go there because you haven't got much else to do, although I have to admit a lot of us did precisely that. But it should actually have a purpose, and it should be able to drive people to a more not so much enlightened but informed position, and by their experience in university have their minds opened and challenged by views from both sides of the political sphere. One of the big issues, of course, in regards to fees is the cost of fees. And fees are affected by basically the cost of running things, and one of the major things that run things is, of course, the price of power. It was amazing tonight, after Callide went down, Callide Power Station, the spot price of power in a 30-minute block went up to $15,000 a megawatt in Queensland, and in excess of $13,000 a megawatt in New South Wales. It remained in excess of $15,000 a megawatt for quite a period of time. And the people who pay for that are not only the students, but they're everybody. This is the result of not having an open mind, of being rutted in a certain view and being carted along that by philosophical zeal, by a sort of a quasi-religious view, which is completely removed from the logic which you believe that university would teach you about. What we have with the excesses of this so-called climate socialism, the so-called renewable debate, is there's no debate at all about what happened to the price of power tonight. And the people who have to pay that are the same people who have to pay the taxes for people to go to university, the same people who ultimately pay for fee support. We must make sure that we understand using tonight, and we are so lucky, so blessed that nobody was hurt or killed in the Callide Power Station, but we must understand that it created a test for an electricity grid, and it overwhelmingly failed. Tonight they have to do load shedding in Queensland. Load shedding means that they just basically start shutting things off, because if they don't shut things off, the grid collapses. And what are we going to do about this? The same people who pay the fees should be the same people encouraging Queensland to build a new coal-fired power station in central Queensland to avoid these sort of circumstances again, to build a new coal-fired power station in the Hunter Valley as insurance against these circumstances happening again. This is a process that should be driven by the form of an open-minded analytical assessment of the pricing facts, the grid facts that we have had to deal with tonight. So, in response to COVID-19 in the higher education sector, the government is extending fee help. Loan fee exemption already in place for another 6 months. So the exemption will apply for units of study with a census date between the 1st of July 2021 and the 31st of December 2021. Ordinarily, an undergraduate student accessing fee help loan at providers other than Table B providers, mostly private providers, would incur a 20% loan fee on top of their loan amount. Students accessing HEX help loans do not incur this fee. So this is an assistance for those in the private providers and, of course, for the students who are in that space, and, of course, being people who believe in the private sector, it's a logical position for us to hold. Ultimately, though, any support that comes from government doesn't come from government, it comes from taxpayers. And if it can't come from taxpayers, it's borrowed from people overseas to be repaid by taxpayers at a later date.